bloodline, whether you agree with it or not, until that altar is destroyed or rejected. Okay. So Genesis chapter 31, verses 11 through 13. It says, then the angel of God said to me in the dream, Jacob. So we're on Jacob now. So now we're down to Jacob's altar. We got Abraham, we got Isaac. Now we're down to Jacob. Then the angel of God said to me in the dream, Jacob. And I said, here I am. He said, lift up now your eyes and see that all the male goats which are mating are striped, speckled, and mottled. For I have seen all that Laban has been doing to you. I am the God of Bethel. It's very important. Where you anointed a pillar, where you made a vow to me. Now arise, leave this land and return to the land of your birth. Now, mind you, Abraham had already built an altar in Bethel. And because the spirit of Abraham's altar is so responsible for monitoring and enforcing what was done at that altar, that it brought Jacob back to the same place where his granddaddy built an altar. Because the spirit enforces. And that's how, if you see that your granddaddy was in something, or your great granddaddy, or your great granddaddy was in something, and you find yourself back in the same place that they was, maybe he was an adulterer. Maybe they were into drugs. Maybe they were in idolatry. Maybe they were in Freemasonry. Maybe they couldn't get married. Maybe they were abusive to women. Maybe they were pedophiles. Whatever it was that they were in, if you find yourself back in the same place that they were, you just identified an altar. And the spirit from their altar, just like the spirit of Abraham's altar was responsible for bringing Jacob back to where his granddaddy's altar was. It works the same way in the demonic kingdom. So if you keep finding yourself back in places where your ancestors have been, like everybody in your family got cancer, your grandma had cancer, your great-great-grandma had cancer, now you got cancer, you found yourself back in the same place that they were, you just identified an altar that needs to be destroyed. And the spirit from that altar is responsible for monitoring and enforcing and making sure that you end up back in the same place where they were. I pray that's making sense. So anyway, God's spirit brought Jacob back to the same altar, same location where his granddaddy built an altar. But going on, and we're going to get back to Bethel in just a minute as well, because there was more done at Bethel, an altar at Bethel. So Genesis chapter 31, 11 through 13. Then the angel of God said to me in the dream, Jacob, and I said, wait, we just read that. Okay.